being with you for me and my wife is optimal utilization of time. We therefore are grateful for your gracious presence with this confidence, cheerfulness, and giving us assurance that India's future is bright. Dr. Saurabh Garg, a senior IS officer, Secretary, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, a critical ministry, a man who loves to grab innovation, takes his strides in new areas with methodical approach, and I'm sure under his leadership, this very important ministry, which at this juncture is having very critical role, will help the nation evolve policies that can take this country, Bharat, home to 1/6 of humanity, to the status of Viksit Bharat at 2047, if not earlier. CPR Mishra, Director General, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, has equally critical role. Officials of the ministry, Indian Statistical Service Probationers, batch 24 and 25. You will be called a very important batch associated with Amritkal, associated with 75th celebration of adoption of Indian Constitution. And I therefore take it as a privilege for the position I hold to share my thoughts with you all. I must first take note of Anchor Ria. She can make a perfect anchor. She will always have a role to play. And Shoma Mishra and Mridul Maheshwari, respectively belonging to 2024 batch of probationers and 2025 batch of probationers, both were very articulate. One in English, the other one in Hindi. Let me at the outset tell you something very important. India is uniquely positioned in the world when it comes to languages. We have multiple languages that make us proud. Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Bangla, Sanskrit, Hindi, several languages, I'll forget some. All of them, Oriya, all languages. 8 of them are classical languages. Our languages generate unity. Some of them have global impact. Their literature is gold mine of knowledge. Our inclusivity is reflected in our languages. And if we go to the constitutional scheme of things, it is provided in the Constitution that for official work, there will be progressive decline in use of English language. And similarly, incremental trajectory for Hindi. Our national education policy stands out for giving primacy to the mother tongue. Technical subjects like medicine and engineering, the education now is being imparted in vernacular. Our languages are our spinal strength. Our languages can never be source of divisiveness. Our languages are unifying force. I appeal to everyone in the country to have a soothing approach with wholesome motivation to this fundamental cultural aspect of our nation. If you go to any part of this country, the language of that particular region is mellifluous, impressive. And that is why you'll find in recent times in particular, recognition has been given to scholars of various languages. But the discourse of Soumya and Mridul was amazing. We have amongst the probationers Tashika. I recall Tashika for a good reason. She is the daughter of Siddharth, who is helping Rajya Sabha Secretariat significantly. But more importantly, a program which was initiated by Rajya Sabha Secretariat during my tenure, Rajya Sabha Fellowship Internship. Tashika is Rajya Sabha Internship Fellow. Would you kindly rise? Thank you so much. Boys and girls, it gives me immense pleasure to meet probationers. They are drawn from several services. There was a time when some services held primacy and some services were not so recognized. But now I find all services are occupying public space, contributing equitably. You can take pride in being part of bureaucracy that will drive a population of 1.4 billion. And more importantly, that population belongs to the oldest, largest, most dynamic democracy on the planet. I therefore congratulate you on your selection in this prestigious service. And you know it more than I do. It was rigorous, it was challenging, it was tough competition. You made it, you made your parents proud. You glorified your teachers and alma mater. You know that. Can you imagine for a moment the satisfaction in your families when you got into this service? That defines where you are. You have to live up to the highest standards of Indian bureaucracy. You have to exemplify your conduct all throughout with transparency, integrity, accountability. Howsoever tempting may be the allurements, you have never to take shortcuts. Shortcuts in times of need, in dire need, are the longest distance between 2 points. Only on paper is the shortest distance. Taking a shortcut means you are activating 4 lines of law. You are engaging in transgressions. You will have good health if you believe in integrity and remain totally committed to serving the nation. In the vast canvas of India's progress, civil servants function as the silent yet formidable architects contributing to the socio-economic development and progress of our dynamic nation. Thanks to vision of Prime Minister, his mission, that execution has taken place by the bureaucracy. Performance of our bureaucracy will always be optimal if the political leadership is in the right framework, with right policies. We are living in those times where political framework is indicating hope and optimism. We are on the right path. And that is why India is a nation at the moment with unprecedented economic upsurge, phenomenal infrastructure growth. This is mix of political vision and bureaucratic execution. I therefore say that India takes pride in its bureaucracy. It is finest in the world, and that is why our aspirations get fortified. This service, your service, has a rich legacy of nation building. You are part of a very distinguished cadre that has played a vital role in shaping evidence-based policy and governance in our country. It is very difficult to find a thing when the room is dark. If the room is dim lit, it will strain your eyes. But if it is well lit, the task is easier. Connect with your destination is seamless. This is what you shall be doing for the rest of your life, changing our lives, including myself. It is a service that will give you immense opportunities to serve the country, but you will continue to learn new things when you will apply to your work. That will be a great revelation. You will come to know Bharat like no one else. And the kind of input you will get and you will share, and that will be analyzed, will lead to great results. And therefore, during your career, as you go up the ladder, you will be serving in multiple ways. Each one of them will be critical for the nation. The role of this service has never been so critical and important as in present times. Never. India now takes pride in being the most populous country in the world. For last decade, India can pride legitimately because it has been accoladed by institutions like IMF and the World Bank. Therefore, a decade India has been, in terms of economic growth, at number one amongst large economies. People for the first time have tested development. People-centric policies have reached to the last person. A cooking connection in the house, a tap connection, a toilet, internet, road close by, easy accessibility to railroad. That being the situation, a health center close by, a education center close by. During my time and during the time of Mr. Garg, we never had that good. I can never imagine. So people have now tested development. This has converted India into the most aspirational nation on the planet. And its youth demographic dividend is envy of the world, your dividend. The median age is 28. For US and China, it is around 38, 39. When a nation is aspirational, there is always potential for people to be restive, to engage in restlessness. Having tasted freedom as never before, they want more. And therefore, it is imperative that the government delivers. Now, government can deliver only by right policies. Right policies have to be firmed up on data. That data, you are the custodians. After the data is made available, you are the sharp watchdogs of its analysis. Your contribution, therefore, will strengthen the backbone of our economy. It will advance our social equity and ensure that the most marginalized voices are heard and represented in our national discourse. Democracy has meaning only when there is equality all around in every aspect, and that requires inequities to be curtailed, curbed, and finally decimated. For that, it is vital to notice where is the inequality that requires addressing. Your role is fundamental. Statistics is science of learning from data. Statistical tools and quantitative techniques are essential to effective governance. Because a governance ultimately has to be optimally performing. You perform optimally when you are in the right course. You can be on the right course only if you know which area has to be attended. And that is your job. You therefore provide a solid empirical foundation for informed policy decisions. वो कहते हैं ना कि informed decision नहीं हो तो there is no possibility of averting disaster. Uninformed decision making, ad hoc decision making is a recipe for a growth that is antithetical to sustainable growth. The world today is a changed world. Disruptive technologies are much beyond industrial revolution. Artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, machine learning, blockchain. They have entered into our lives, our office space, our governance pattern, our homes. These are challenges. But every challenge is an opportunity in it. For your job, it is a great opportunity. It will help you massively. The world today is driven by data and digital technology. You must have come across quite frequently. Data has been stolen. There has to be privacy of data. So you know data is very important. The role of statistician, role of your service in particular, has expanded now beyond traditional domains, not like earlier days. From economic planning to health surveillance, from agricultural forecasting to social development programs, data is central to every aspect of growth. As a matter of fact, the first foremost priority requirement for planning is database. Statistics is not merely about numbers. It is much more than numbers. It is about identifying patterns and drawing insights that inform wise policy decisions. Now, there is always urgency. If your data must be in sync with contemporaneous situations. Otherwise, it has a tendency to be stale, outdated. It is about identifying patterns and drawing insights, have informed policy decision based on data which is currently acceptable. A delayed or misguided policy can have serious consequences, and a timely intervention, well-informed decisions can yield results that are exponential, not just incremental. वो कहते हैं ना, a stitch in time saves 9. That is what you will be doing every time. There will be no 9 stitches. Your one stitch at the right time will do trick. Policymakers are important. Their vision, their expertise, they are qualified. But the tool is your data. In the absence of your data, they will be in a dark room and therefore can't see even one another, forget about the landscape outside. Policymakers can design, implement and evaluate programs effectively and meaningfully only if they have a data platform that is authentic. Even citizens, to enforce accountability and transparency of the government. How would a citizen know what my government is doing? They rely, while assessing the government, its performance, the impartiality of work, only from data. Data will indicate to citizens whether it is balanced, equitable development or not. In today's rapidly evolving technological landscape, young dear students, probationers, I say students because learning never stops. Learning is lifelong. You are students forever. It is crucial for you to adopt and master latest tools, latest technology. What you have learned so far is good, very good, but it will never be enough because the world is changing every moment. You will be finding yourself on quicksand of technology if you don't change yourself with technology or sometimes add of technology. Technologies give you confidence because they minimize human effort in analyzing. Then you can take recourse to multiple areas with the same data. It saves time. It gives accuracy. And in this context, boys and girls, the government has taken a great decision. And the decision is to include caste-based enumeration in the upcoming decadal census. It will be a transformative step, game-changing. It will help bring about social justice. It will be an eye-opener. It will satisfy people's aspirations. It's a very bold decision of the government. Dr. Garg will tell me if I'm right or wrong. There was caste-based census earlier. Last time I think it was conducted in 1931. I look up to that census many times to know about my caste. I therefore realize the import of caste-based enumeration. And we are also required by use of data to address demographic trends. Demographic trends are beyond statistics. They are dependent on analysis of statistics. In several ways, these variations define pulse of the nation's transformation. And therefore, understanding statistics in the perspective of demographic variation will help policymakers address security of the nation, preserve our sovereignty also, analyze the threat perception, and help us devise policies. Demography, and you come to know more about demography only from statistical analysis of raw figures, is a compass that will guide nation's journey for sustainable development. The importance of data is global in all nations. US has a very strong mechanism of data analysis. India has improved it massively in recent years. We are in league of the big nations that analyze data after gathering it. United Nations plays a crucial role in collecting, analyzing, and disseminating global statistical data, primarily through its division, which you must be aware, United Nations Statistics Division. Because United Nations as a global body is required to know global trends. This agency will also be considerably helped when your work is at a higher benchmark. It is destined to be a higher benchmark, I have no doubt about it. And let me caution you. Effective policy planning without robust statistics, you can compare it with a surgery in darkness. You can imagine how relevant your work is. Every digit in our national database represents a human story. Every train line charts the trajectory of dreams. Let me give you a small illustration. MPs and MLAs have funds at their disposal. It's 5 crore, if I'm not mistaken, for an MP every year. And MLAs also have. How it is spent? Is it part of structured economic growth? Or is it generating situations that we need to address? Is the representative merely using this amount to curry favor with his chosen favorites? Is it not placating a particular kind of vote bank? All this has to be analyzed. I was extremely delighted when a very senior member of parliament, Professor Ram Gopal Yadav, raised the issue. His demand was very righteous. He said, either increase the amount phenomenally or get rid of it. Because in the present shape, it cannot be equitably distributed in the constituency. And if that is the situation, the utilization will obviously tend to be iniquitous. This is only to slightly digress. Statistical data serves in times of need, North Star, guiding us through labyrinth of competing priorities. Funds are always limited for government. That is why we have taken public-private partnership to a very high level. But to optimally utilize those funds and to see in particular time frame it has to be utilized, data is the North Star. Statistics help us understand not merely what is happening, but why it is occurring and what it portends for our future. You will have rich experience every moment of your service career. What you took for granted, you will find is on a fragile premise. It's a marriage. Because data does not lie. This diagnostic precision transforms reactive governance into proactive stewardship. Otherwise, we will always be in reaction mode. Reaction mode is weakness of policy. It reveals a void in farsightedness. But proactive stewardship is fundamental. Young probationers, statistical cartography reveals the hidden geometries of inequality. I stressed, I have reiterated a number of occasions, democracy has a meaning only if those who cannot help themselves are helped. They don't have to caution others that I need help, which means you must bring about equality in sublimity. Your cartography helps. Governance is enabled by your efforts to craft targeted interventions where interventions are most needed, because those are the areas that address root causes rather than symptoms. Let us not be guided by symptomatic emergence. Let's destroy the root of the malaise. The data with which you will be concerned 24/7, all your service career and thereafter, maps geographical pockets demographically, enabling truly equitable integrated development. This conceptualization is fundamental. Execution is not difficult. Execution can be brought about. Just take construction of house. If you have the right map, you have the right permissions, everything is approved, all designs are there, structural and otherwise, well, a contractor can do the job. And there will be money in the line to do it. If you go to the preamble of our Constitution, that is the heart and soul of the Constitution, you will find social justice most predominant. Far from being division, thoughtfully collected caste data will be an instrument of integration. Some people are debating about it. We are mature minds. How can information collected by itself be a source of problem? It is like getting your body MRI. You will know about it where you stand. People will analyze. And this mechanism will transform abstract constitutional commitments to equality into measurable, accountable policy outcomes. There is another facet with which you will be involved, and that is transparency. You will cut down favoritism. You will decimate patronage. No longer a person will say, my area is more developed than the other area, because I happen to operate the levers of power more than the other person. You are therefore a bulwark, impregnable fortress against those who work with opacity, who create islands of development and therefore rise on ostrums. My area is very developed. We want a Bharat where all areas are equitably developed. In such a scenario, statistics serve democracy not merely by informing policy, but by empowering citizens. A citizen will raise voice, and voice rationally, effectively, once the citizen comes to know, I am backed by the power of data. This vision of statistical democracy strengthens both governance effectiveness and democratic accountability. We as a nation are looking for Viksit Bharat, which is not our dream. It is our object, defined destination, our goal. Bharat is no longer a nation with a potential. It's a nation on the rise, and the rise is unstoppable. And therefore, the path to developed India is paved with statistical insights marked by evidence-based milestones. In togetherness, we must create a nation that thinks empirically, as I indicated earlier, but is driven by hardcore evidence. Let me conclude, and I'm sure I find smile on the face of everyone. Conclusion is always good, because you will have the occasion to have good lunch here. Numbers are not cold abstractions, but are warm testimonies to our collective aspirations. These are the numbers. The future belongs to those who master the art of reading society's statistical signatures, and only you make available those signatures. In the convergence of statistical science and democratic values lies the secret to India's continued rise. Let me conclude with something which I faced. Everyone has addressed Dr. Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar, my wife, as second lady. When I was governor of the state of West Bengal, I tweeted from my official handle that the governor of West Bengal and the first lady of the state will be attending so-and-so function. Someone came immediately, who is the second lady? Now she says, I am the second lady. Thank you so much.